And I had several things that happened to me when I was a young boy that scarred me. And I had tremendous amount of fear, and I didn't know how to deal with it. And so rather than dealing with it in the passive sense of just being fearful and carrying down, I just had my guard up all the time. You know, I would stick out my chest and stick out my chin and just dare you. I would. That's the way I grew up, thought all the time. Karen's fears were rejection, disconnection, disconnecting from her, being devalued, failure, and abuse. We all have core fears that we're dealing with. I believe every person has core fears that they're dealing with. Women's core fears typically relate to disconnection, not being heard and being valued, losing love and appreciation. I believe that's absolutely true. When women are dealing with fear in their marriages, it's disconnection. I fear my husband disconnecting. I fear not being heard and valued. I fear losing love and appreciation. Here are men's core fears: helplessness, being controlled, failure, and disrespect. I hurt, I want, I fear, I react. Then you hurt, you want, you fear, you react, and we get into a cycle of fear. I'm hurting because of an issue in my life. It may be something from my past. It may be something related to you, but because I'm hurting, I want a solution. And so I work, kids, eating, drinking, however I'm dealing with this, I'm trying to find a solution, but I fear. I fear that you're going to control me. I fear you're going to disrespect me. I fear you're going to do this. I fear you're going to do this. And so I react. I say something, I do something, and now you want. You fear. So make it an open issue. And with your spouse, you can just say to your spouse, honey, that makes me afraid. And I know that's wrong, but I'm just telling you I feel afraid, and I want you to help me deal with that. Rather than acting like you're not afraid or acting like you're tough. Secondly, take responsibility for your own behavior. Remember what Adam did. When God confronted Adam, he said, I was afraid because I was naked. And then he said, it's her fault. Blame transfer was the original sin of marriage. Most people in marriage think, if my spouse would change, that's all I need. Most people do. I remember believing that very strongly. But it's always both of us. And I can't change Karen, but I can change myself. And even if I'm only 15% of the problem, I can change that 15%. And I just need to take responsibility. And it's especially helpful when you repent to your spouse. And you go to them. This is what I'd never said I was wrong in years of marriage. But what began the healing in our marriage is when I stopped the tough act and repented to Karen and became vulnerable. And that's when the light began to be shown on things and God began to heal our relationship.